All right.
Absolutely.
All right, welcome back. So, uh, anyway, every person has a different idea of what comfort means to them, and your hospice team should be like take that into account. So, some people they prefer to have less comfort medications for many different reasons, and then other people are much more open or want way more comfort medications, and then anything in between.
What do you want?
A lot of comfort medications. Personally, yeah. No, I'm not trying to be a hero, and um I have zero qualms about using comfort meds. I also have zero fear about using comfort meds. That's not uncommon that people are really afraid to utilize like morphine or other things because of the stigma or what they've heard of it. Uh,
At death's
yeah.
door,
hmm
or just for pain in general? Just for pain in general, or like, listen,
Uh, I probably for pain in general, but the population I see are people who are on hospice. So,
mhm.
there's some people that they're afraid of it or they are afraid they're going to get addicted to it, which I gently, yeah, the face that you're making makes sense, but I gently educate people about like we're not going to give you any doses that are going to be harmful to you. A doctor is the one who actually has to prescribe these doses to you anyway, and then it's double checked by a pharmacist and then triple checked by your nurse.
And bro,
So
you're on hospice.
yeah, we say that, but in a
Like,
in a kinder way. Yeah, we say
yeah,
that in a
yeah,
very
yeah, yeah,
kind
yeah.
way.
Sorry.
And sometimes I
I don't mean to
say,
be callous about it, but like it seems like what do you think, dude? You're gonna be a ghost? Like you're gonna be a ghost haunting this motherfucker? Like, dude.
people think all
Okay.
kinds of things. But
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
so
I don't mean to be
we
mean.
gently educate them. And then sometimes I just straight up say, I'm not concerned about that for you. I'm not concerned about you becoming addicted to this medication. You're taking it for a legitimate reason, and you need to take it until it relieves your symptoms.
Man, that just shows you how the brain, how intense it is. Like to be at that point, be like, no, I can't get addicted. Like it's like, wow, you've been to your core fundamentally. Wow, that's
Fundamentally, what?
insane. Program. You've been programmed.
Yeah.
You don't even know what addiction is or how it works. You have no idea. You're like so far removed from that here at this point now that we're at, that you're
Well, and a
still
lot of
terrified
people,
of that idea.
right, because a lot of people have been touched by addiction. A lot of people have known people that had really bad outcomes due to addiction, or even lost loved ones due to it. So there is a lot of that fear around it as well, and that trauma that it brings up for people if they've had a loved one who was addicted. Also, a lot of people do not understand the difference between tolerance and addiction.
Ah, yeah, yeah,
And so
yeah,
we educate people a lot about that. Like, yes, you can build a tolerance to pain medication and need higher doses um, in order for it to actually be effective for you. But that doesn't mean that your
wow.
body can't function without it.
Right.
Um, and with hospice patients, not every single person who's on hospice and dying has a painful condition or a painful disease, but a lot of them
Uh,
do. And so we explain, like, as your disease progresses, I do expect that your pain will increase and we will have to increase your doses. And that's okay. That's what we need to do for you. That doesn't mean that you're addicted to this medication. And deep inside, I'm thinking, and I don't care if you get addicted. Like, I want you to be comfortable and you take
yeah, for
however
sure.
much you need.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a factor. And then I have not seen it myself. Maybe I did one time, but I have heard from other people who work in hospice that sometimes you will be taking care of a patient who is in recovery from addiction
Oh,
and they feel like they want to quote unquote die clean. And so they're very resistant to taking pain medications for that reason, which
oh,
I want to honor and respect that, but that makes me really sad
yeah, I do
that they're in
too.
that situation.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like I would definitely like that's respectable. Like my recovery isn't that hard line, isn't that radical. Um, but I respect a person who did.
Right. Yeah. So sometimes there are people who don't want to take anything and they have very you know, deep internal reasons for that.
Yeah. So you want lots of drugs.
I do. Yeah. I'm a very pro. I'm not pro big pharma, but I'm very pro pharmaceuticals when they're needed. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And clean pharmaceuticals are cool. I like them. Um,
What's that
yeah.
mean? What do you mean clean pharmaceuticals?
Okay, so like
Like meds you get from an actual pharmacy?
yeah, like clean
Okay.
MDMA or clean like hell, even cocaine. Uh
Wait, where do you get these? Which pharmacy are you getting these at? Oh, okay.
uh,
Yeah.
uh yeah. Wow. Yeah, they make pharmaceutical cocaine. It looks like you shake it up in a vial. It's like fucking like turns to fucking like snow. It's wild. But they do. They do.
Oh,
They make it. They make it.
I
I mean,
mean, I
hell,
know
they
they
made it
make
all
it
the time
for
when they put it in. They made it all the time when it. But I mean, I don't think that they make it in America. I think that most of that
right.
they probably still do actually. There's definitely some chemists who do. Anyway,
We used to use a liquid form of cocaine in the ER for nosebleeds.
oh great,
Yeah.
that's
Great.
good. That's
I don't
fun.
know if they still do, but that was,
Right
yeah.
where it needs to go too, right in the nose. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, because it constricts the blood vessels. So if somebody came in with a nosebleed that wouldn't stop, we
Yeah,
could
go
use
ahead,
that.
hit that up.
Um,
Get your line of that right there, buddy.
yeah, I don't know. So yeah, so for end of life, if I know I'm dying, I will absolutely be on hospice.
Okay.
And I will be asking for all the medications and using them liberally for myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I would like to be at home if I can be, which is where most people prefer to be when they're on hospice services,
Yeah.
not in like a nursing facility,
Oh, right.
or
No, no,
assisted
no, no.
living.
Yeah, right.
And then when and I don't know about music, definitely not TV. I can't stand having a TV on in the background. Like that gives me sensory, oof, I can't stand it. Um, but yeah, music of some sort. And then when I'm actually dead, I prefer, if I die where I live right now, we are lucky we have a green cemetery or a natural cemetery close by. And I learned that you can actually be buried at the cemetery and have what's called a direct burial, where they bury your body. You are not embalmed. You can't be embalmed and be buried at the cemetery.
Right.
You are buried in some kind of a compostable substance. So either you could be buried in like a pine casket or a pine box, a cardboard box, which hang tight. I'm going to talk to you about the cardboard box. Most people, when they hear that, they go, "Ooh."
Yeah, that sounds great.
But cardboard box, or which I think is the coolest, is you could be buried in a shroud where you actually are just wrapped up in some kind of natural fabric, like cotton or linen or silk, and your body is placed in the ground in this shroud, no box. I think that's the coolest, but I think that might be
That's the
kind of
coolest.
hard.
Yeah, that's absolutely rad. Yeah, that's great.
That is, but it does look like the shape of your body, so I don't know how that would be for your loved ones. Like that could still be kind of sensitive
That
for
seems like it
some of
would
your
be
loved ones.
rad. Like
I
drop some
agree.
seeds
I
on
mean,
me. Like drop some seeds on me, and then come back here in like a couple of years and pick some like strawberries or something. Bury me face down so and all around my butt
mhm.
grow like strawberries and eat strawberries out of my butt while I'm dead.
DJ's butt strawberries. How
Motherfucker.
sweet. Precious. Yeah, so that's what I'm lucky enough that where I live now, we have that. And I've been very clear with my family, like, hey, if I die while we're here, bury me like that and
That's
just
beautiful.
directly in the ground. Now I
That's
want to talk about
absolutely beautiful.
the cardboard box. So you can be buried in a cardboard box. And a lot of people kind of get like, ooh, that seems, I don't know, dumpy, garbagey. Um, but what I need people to understand is when you are cremated in a cardboard box. Like I know
Right.
in the movies, we see this big, beautiful casket getting pushed into the crematorium. That happens occasionally, but in most cases, they have cardboard boxes that are made for a corpse to fit
Sure.
inside. And if you're cremated, your corpse is put into this cardboard box and you're cremated that way. So it's actually not as uncommon as people think for your dead body to end up in a cardboard box one way or the other.
Sure, it's totally biodegradable. We use
Mhm.
cardboard for our no-till beds. Uh,
Yep, we
we
do
love
too.
it. We
Yeah.
love it. We use it to try to keep the weeds down, but it's great. It's great.
Mhm.
Uh, that sounds great. When we come back, that's what we should talk about. The
All the different
processes.
ways. Sure.
Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
That'll be our next episode, everybody. We will talk
Yeah.
about after your death. What do you want to happen to your body? There's lots of options.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, let me ask you something.
Yes?
What is there any before we leave? Oh, number one, it's spooky season. Are you into horror movies? Do you watch horror
No,
movies at all? You don't?
no, I do not. I am a chicken. I cannot handle horror movies. Nope.
Okay. All
Why?
right.
Clearly you are. So why why'd you ask?
No, it's, uh, we should watch some horror movies. What if we started a
Um,
Patreon and I got you to watch some of my favorite horror movies? Not
I don't
scary
know.
horror movies. Huh? We should think about it.
I don't know. What do you mean not scary though? Aren't they all scary? They're all scary to me.
No,
No,
Terrifier's not scary.
I'm a chicken.
Terrifier is just a clown who saws people up and kills people.
No, I can't handle
Night of the
gore.
Living Dead, the original. Oh, what about something like we gotta see we gotta start a Patreon where we do something like that and get you out of your comfort zone. You get me out of mine. I'll dance go-go. You watch horror movies.
I might do that. Okay, hold on. Hold on. You may have gotten me. Okay, yeah.
Let's think about it.
Um,
Let's think about it.
I'll think
Let's
about it.
think about it.
Well, one of my favorite movies. Okay, so my no, okay, this is too much for this episode. So I have a really hard time with horror movies. I have a really hard time with violence, a really
Uh
hard time with violence and gore. I do not like jump scares at all. Like that pisses me off. I'm not, no. But one of my favorite movies is Aliens.
yeah.
I grew up, my dad loved that movie, and my dad had a
It
huge crush
is.
on Sigourney Weaver. And so
Yeah.
he was always watching that movie. And that scene where with the airlock when she comes out in the power loader and she's like, "Get away from
Yeah.
her, you bitch!" Oh my god, that
Yeah.
gives me goosebumps. I love that. But that's about as much as I can handle. I don't know. That's even though the aliens are
19
like clearly
look, man.
puppets.
Yeah. We'll start you off on something light. We gotta figure something out.
Oh god. Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
this is a
okay, we'll
great
think about
episode
it.
again.
We'll
Yeah,
think
for
about it.
sure.
So, yeah, thank you everyone for listening to the second episode of Life and Death and Dirt. I'm Rosie B. We've got DJ here. You can follow us on Instagram at life_death_dirt. That's pretty much the only place that we are. And if you have questions or comments, send them our way. The one
Yeah, for
question,
sure.
though, that I will never entertain, so don't even ask. Do not ask me the worst way to die. I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to respond to that. We're not going to talk about that. You can find that on YouTube, but also I suggest if you're
I
asking that
suggest
question, maybe do some mushrooms or something and figure out why you want to know about that. Because no,
or you could go on YouTube and watch Mr. Ballin and just go ahead, type in Mr. Ballin, worst ways to die, and I
no,
promise you.
no, no, do not do that. That sounds horrible. And that just made my, I have a pit in my stomach.
It's so bad.
No,
You
I don't
regret it.
know. We're moving on. We're not doing that. So don't ask me that question and don't tell me anything about any of that stuff.
I,
I'm going to talk to you about better ways to die, good ways to die.
good ways to die.
Yeah. So last thing before we go, DJ,
Yeah.
what is one thing that fills you with dread and one thing that fills you with joy? This is our game, dread and joy.
Okay. One thing that fills me with dread is knowing that we're about to enter back into a political status quo. And it scares the fuck out of me. Uh,
Oh,
because
I was thinking a little more frivolous things.
oh,
You're talking about
sorry.
real fears. I'm sorry.
Oh, you mean like spiders or something?
Here, I'll
Uh,
tell you mine so you have an idea of what I had in mind. Okay. That's my fault for
Okay.
not being clear with you. Okay, something that
Okay.
fills me with dread is when you're camping and you wake up in the morning, and that moment when you first realize, oh, I'm in a tent and I'm on the ground and everything is moist, and you start hearing other people's zippers. You start
Uh-huh.
hearing like the zippers of the tents around you, like zzz,
Uh-huh.
zzz. That sound, I can't. It's like it's giving me chills just talking about it. That fills me with dread. I don't know why, but the sound of tent zippers in the morning,
You feel
because
the you
you
feel the
always wake up
responsibility of
wary.
having to get, yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you feel responsible to get up. And you know people are gonna start talking, so you're not gonna have to lay back down. You're not gonna be able to lay
yes,
back down.
yes.
Dude, you'd
That's what
hate me
it is.
camping.
Why? What
You
time do
would
you
hate
get
me
up?
camping up in
Yeah,
Fort
you get up and
Sumter.
ready to go, aren't you?
Yeah,
Oh God. I can't stand it. Oh my God. The sound of tent zippers in the morning is my dread. And then my joy is listening to animals eating. I love
Ah,
like the sound of animals crunching on things,
oh,
or
right on.
um, like our chickens when they peck at the plants around them and it just makes that little like noise. It cracks me up. Also, one time when I was a teenager, my friends and I got really high and we were feeding tortilla chips to some ducks, and it was the funniest sound I've ever heard in my life. And I still remember that. So that's what I meant by dread and joy. DJ has frozen, and I'm afraid that my internet is about to go out again. So DJ will have to fill us in on his dread and joy at next week's episode. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one. Bye.